Coming up on Sports Tonight, hey, that's more like it. The Browns back in the win column with an impressive victory in Cincinnati over the Bengals. We'll hear from the Browns.
I came here to win. I've said it over and over again. That's why I was brought here, to change the culture.
Jim Donovan is here to help us celebrate the win and also look at what's ahead for the team.
A team that we expected to see all season long. Maybe they've arrived.
Plus, it's been a solid start to the season for the Cavaliers, and the high school football playoffs roll on. Plenty of teams still alive here in Northeast Ohio. Oh yeah, we're all smiles tonight. It's Sports Tonight, and it starts now.
Back in the pocket, throws right sideline and picked off. They got it down the sideline. It's Denzel Ward. He's to the 35-40. He's to the 50. He's to the 40, 30, 20, 15, 10, 5. Touchdown! A pick six. Denzel Ward is back. Play action fake to Chubb. In the pocket, loads up, going long. Peoples-Jones is out there. He's got it. 10, 5, touchdown! Turns, gives, Chubb runs. 30, 35, there he goes. 40, 45, 50. There he goes. 40. He's running to the river. 20, 15, 10, 5. Touchdown, Nick Chubb.
Is he in the river yet?
He's in the river.
Oh, this is so much more fun when the Browns win, and that's exactly what they did today down in Cincinnati. Great hearing Jimmy and Doug on the call. A week full of drama and distractions. You wouldn't know it. The Browns were focused, and they played perhaps their most complete game of the season. Nick Camino here with you. This is Sports Tonight. Let's get the party started, right? Our game of the day, sponsored by Brunswick Auto Mart. Car buying made truly simple. Beautiful day for football in the Queen City. And a beautiful pass from Baker Mayfield to Donovan Peoples-Jones. 60 yards. They've had some big touchdowns down there in Cincinnati, haven't they? Third quarter, and Nick Chubb puts the Bengals away. A 70-yard touchdown run. Love Chubb. And the Browns win 41-16. They put all that OBJ noise behind them. They blow out the Bengals to move over the 500 mark. Here's the head coach after the game.
Great team win. Came down here to get a road victory, and I thought it was hard fought. Was never perfect, as they never are, but just how hard the guys played against, I think, a really good football team, a team that was playing good ball. So really was proud of those guys for how they fought.
I mean, truly a complete football game for the Browns. That was fun today. For more on today's win and what's next for the Browns, we head down to Paul Brown Stadium and check in with the voice of the Browns, our own Jim Donovan.
Hello from Cincinnati in Paul Brown Stadium, where finally the Browns came up with a complete game. Yes, the defense was sensational. Yes, the offense was very good, even without OBJ. And yes, the Browns came up with turnovers and explosive plays, and they won the ball game going away at a time when they really needed a win. 41-16, they beat the Bengals to go to 5-4 and get their first win inside the division. No doubt about it. It was a turbulent week. No doubt about it. You had to wonder what frame of mind was the football team in. But I'll tell you what, for 3.5 hours, they were focused and a winner and a very good team. A team that we expected to see all season long. Maybe they've arrived.
We'll take wins any way we can get them. And I came here to win. I've said it over and over again. That's why I was brought here, to change the culture, to help change the culture, and continue to contribute, towards that winning attitude. And, our guys are bought in. They focused up and did their job, and that needs to be a week-to-week thing.
I really would start with the takeaways. Talked about that too, and I thought the defense was outstanding. We're ball searching all day. The ball was on the ground, and they were going to get it. Ball was in the air, and they were going to get it. So I thought that was great. We wanted to win the turnover margin down here, and we did. As it relates to explosives, yes, they're sometimes they're there, sometimes they're not. But we got to find ways to score points any which way we can get them. Sometimes through the air, sometimes via the ground.
We look ahead, because this isn't easy. In November, tough road games, and they don't get really much tougher than trying to beat Bill Belichick, especially in Foxborough. That's the next charge coming up next week. But I'll tell you what, the Browns all of a sudden turned a big corner. The team we loved last year, That team was back here today in full form against the Bengals. Offense, defense, special teams, turnovers, sacks. I could go on and on, but it adds up to a 41-16 win. Enjoy your victory Monday. I'm Jim Donovan, Channel 3 Sports.
Oh, great stuff, Jimmy. We love it. Our defensive play of the week, sponsored by Great Lakes Brewing Company. Oh, this was easy tonight, right? We give it to Denzel Ward. First quarter, first drive for the Bengals. Trying to go in to make it 7-0. Denzel Ward picks off Joe Burrow, 99 yards to the house. That put Cleveland up 7-0. And really, what a swing, right? What a start for the Browns. Here's Ward after the win and the pick six, of course.
That was a great team defense. Guys getting pressure on the quarterback. Burrow, he ended up getting the ball out. I was able to step in front of it and go the other way with it. Teammates did a great job blocking and get me into the end zone. Oh, man, I was tired. I was gassed. I was on the sideline. I needed the oxygen tank, but I was good. I was good after a while. Just needed to get some air, get some oxygen, and get back in there.
Hey, I got to tell you, the Browns defense was lights out. Let's give these guys some credit. They got the interception by Ward, and they forced 2 more turnovers. They sacked Joe Burrow 5 times. Troy Hill had 2 of them. A complete effort from that Browns defensive unit. Myles Garrett, what'd you think, big man?
Like I said before, they come in bunches. And, we're hitting our stride at the right time, and just got to keep on focusing on that.
Hey, like I said, complete game by the Browns today down in the Queen City, and that included the ground attack. Yeah, the Browns rushed for 153 yards as a team. 137 of those yards came from Nick Chubb on just 14 carries. That's just under 10 yards per carry. That's impressive. He also had 2 touchdowns. Here's number 24 after the W.
It says a lot. I mean, it's a resilient team. We're going to keep going, going to keep working hard. We have a long season ahead of us, and I think that made a great point for us moving forward.
I mean, there was so much drama this week, right? So many headlines surrounding the Odell Beckham Jr. situation. You almost didn't know how this game would play out because we talked so little about the game leading up to it. I mean, really leading up to today, right? But even in the 41-16 victory, the OBJ saga is kind of still sort of hovering, right? People were talking about it, announcers, reporters, fans, everybody. Well, after the game, Browns quarterback Baker Mayfield was asked about the whole situation surrounding Odell Beckham Jr. Here's what the quarterback had to say about it.
Like I said, my feelings haven't changed. I wish him well. That's from a personal standpoint. He's a good friend of mine. We still haven't talked, but that doesn't change things. I wish him well. I wish him the best in his career.
Our flashback, sponsored by Northeast Factory Direct. Great furniture, great prices. Last time the Browns were in Cincinnati. Yeah, remember this? A little more dramatic than today's game. Baker Mayfield to Donovan Peoples-Jones. A game-winning touchdown. The Browns have won 3 in a row against Joe Burrow and the Bengals. All right, much more to come on the Browns. It hasn't happened since 1992, a Browns win in Foxborough. We'll ask Scott Petrak if that could happen almost 30 years later. You're watching Sports Tonight. We'll be right back.
we always want to go 1-0, and that's the first step. So we got that accomplished. Next week we got another road opponent, and we got to go 1-0 again that week. So when we look back on it from afar, the whole season, we're going to look at this point in the year and say, oh, that's when things started kicking in. So it was a good first step, but we got to keep it going.
Well, we always enjoy talking some football with Scott Petrak from the Chronicle-Telegram, longtime Browns beat writer. And Scott, we'll get right to it. Browns just go into Cincinnati, dismantle the Bengals. Would you say, just from the standpoint of playing a complete game, was that it for these guys? I mean, was that the most complete game we've seen from the Browns all year?
Oh, yeah, definitely this year, Nick. I mean, you go back to that opener in Kansas City, I thought they played pretty well, but they couldn't do it for all 4 quarters. And today they did it long enough. It was a decisive win, which we haven't seen a ton of those, even in Kevin Stefanski's 2 years. And to do it with the drama that was surrounding this team, I thought it was really impressive. Yeah, I don't want to wear you out too much on the OBJ drama, but I did get the sense going into this, and I want to ask you about this. You almost felt like this was either going to go one of two ways after everything that happened, right? Would this kind of be a rallying cry, everybody comes together, or would it be a complete mess because it was a distraction? Really seemed like, they got the job done and everybody kind of rallied together, Scott. Yeah, there's no doubt. And I didn't know how it was going to go. You're right. It could have gone either way. I thought that's a credit to Kevin Stefanski that he had the guys focused on what they needed to be focused on. And he said he would all week, but you never know until you get to game day. Guys love Odell, and they've said it even after today's game. But for the players to put it aside, put all the drama, to the side and come out and play like they did, I think it's a true testament to this team. And you have to remember, it was a huge point in the season. I mean, they're 4-4. The season could have gotten away from this team. And now you feel kind of, okay, the ship has been righted, and look out, here comes the playoff run. Yeah, I was going to say that. I mean, the Steelers play tomorrow, but the Ravens one day. It's like you had to win this game just to almost keep pace with everybody else, right? I mean, that's just kind of what this boiled down to. Yeah, I mean, the AFC's getting bunched, right? New England's making a run. The Chargers are right there. So you got to get to 10 or 11 wins. And if you're 4-5, it's awful hard to do that. So now they're 5-4. They have some momentum, and there's a lot of good signs. Baker played well. The passing game was finally explosive. Nick Chubb looks healthy. The defense got some takeaways. All the things that have been keeping the Browns from stringing wins together. Hey, you mentioned New England. That's what's coming up next for the Browns. They'll be in Foxborough next week. Never an easy place to play. What have you made of these guys? Have they surprised you as much as it seems like they've surprised some people in the post-Brady era here? Yeah, it's interesting. Kind of in the offseason, I thought, okay, New England's going to make a run, and they spent a bunch of money in free agency. But then they had the Cam Newton situation at quarterback, and they start a rookie, and they've had some struggles this year. But it feels like they figured something out there. So, I guess it's just natural to think that Bill Belichick won't have 2 really bad years in a row. So this correction was due. And Baker Mayfield, last thing I'll say to you, Scott, today it felt like for the first time we weren't really thinking about the shoulder. I mean, he was able to kind of go out there and do his thing. Did you take that away from it where you weren't really thinking, the shoulder, it just didn't seem to affect him that much? And I think that's a great point. And it's 2 games in a row now where it really hasn't been a factor. He's got that new sturdier brace, I think helps. I think he's gotten used to playing with that and throwing with it. And to see the deep shot to Donovan Peoples-Jones for the touchdown, that had been missing really since Baker had hurt that shoulder all the way back in week 2 and then aggravated against the Cardinals. So I think that was a great sign for what this offense can do moving forward. Scott, listen, great stuff. We'll read you in the Chronicle-Telegram. We'll follow you on Twitter. We appreciate you joining us from Paul Brown Stadium down there. Thank you. Thanks, Nick.
A wealth of knowledge, Scott Petrak. All right, our player of the day, sponsored by Union Home Mortgage. Lamar Jackson and the Ravens taking on the Vikings in Baltimore. 1 minute to play. Kirk Cousins finds Adam Thielen for a touchdown. That would force overtime. They're tied at 31-31. And stop me if you've heard this before. Justin Tucker, he kicks a game-winning field goal. I feel like we see this every week. A 36-yarder with 19 seconds left to play in overtime. And the Ravens win again, 34-31. All right, here's a look at your AFC North standings. The Ravens stay in first place with the win over the Vikings. The Steelers play against the Bears on Monday Night Football. And then the Browns and Bengals, as you can see there, right at 5-4. So let's take a look ahead to next week. The Browns go to Foxborough. They'll take on the Patriots. Patriots were in Carolina today visiting the Panthers. 4th quarter, 1-possession game, but check out J.C. Jackson. He picks off Sam Darnold, and he takes it 88 yards to the house. Not as impressive as Denzel Ward's, but still pretty good. New England wins 24-6, so they will be 5-4 when they welcome in the 5-4 Browns to Gillette Stadium next Sunday. That is a 1 o'clock kickoff.
Our moment of the day, sponsored by Mike Bass Ford. Get a great deal and a great deal more at Mike Bass Ford. You have never seen this before in NFL history. That's Josh Allen of the Jags sacking Josh Allen of the Buffalo Bills. What are we, in the Matrix or something? The Jags, Allen also had an interception, and the Jags upset the Bills 9-6. Jacksonville was over a 2-touchdown underdog in that game. Crazy. All right, the Cavs going for their 4th straight win as they square off with the Knicks, and a career night for Ricky Rubio. Stick around for more of that.
It's the type of sick, twisted mindset that, I've idolized guys like Kobe and Mike Tyson, people that when they have their back against the wall, the best comes out and you see what somebody's made of. And mentally, you got to, find out how to do that every week. And it's just a part of the process and just being wired differently.
Baker Mayfield, after that Browns 41-16 win over the Bengals today. Let's talk some hoops now. And how about the Cleveland Cavaliers? Break up the wine and gold, right? Looking for their 4th consecutive win tonight in the Big Apple. Our play of the day, sponsored by Mr. Hero. And how about Ricky Rubio? 3rd quarter, the 31-year-old Spaniard kind of doing everything here. Gets the steal, then he goes and hits the 3 in transition. Rubio comes off the bench for a career-high 37 points at the Garden. He was 8 of 9 on 3-pointers, also had 10 assists, and the Cavs beat the Knicks 126-109, their 4th win in a row. JB Bickerstaff on Rubio's big night.
We know what he's capable of and how good of a player he is. And, when that gets going and when it turns on, he's capable of what he did tonight. He flat out put on a show, and he willed us to win.
All right, here's a look at the week ahead for the Cavs. They'll get their next 4 games at home. Wednesday, it's the Wizards. Friday, the Pistons. And then Saturday, they get the Boston Celtics. We're back after a quick timeout. Our high school football play of the week, sponsored by Chick-fil-A, home of the original chicken sandwich. Hudson and Walsh Jesuit. 4th quarter, Walsh Jesuit going in for the touchdown, but they fumble it into the end zone. Looks like Hudson got on it, but the officials separate that whole pile. You never know what happens there. Joey DeAngelis, he gets the ball for a Walsh touchdown, and the Warriors win 23-14. So the regional semifinals are this week. Games will be played on neutral sites. Some great matchups, as you can see here. St. Ignatius just 6-4, but they're still in it after beating Stowe. They'll play undefeated Medina. St. Ed's has Canton McKinley, Benedictine and Walsh Jesuit, Hoban and Nordonia. Cannot wait for those matchups. All right, that's going to do it for this edition of Sports Tonight. This has been a David Kinder production. Also, a special thanks to our director, Frank Masick. Thanks so much for watching us. Have a great rest of your night. Have a great week, and stay safe out there.